I start with today's class. So yesterday we went through the tragic events in Native American history. Now we're going to go through the positive events in Native American history. So I'm going to show you what we're doing. And I'm going to give you like a brief, I'll just go through it before we get started. Okay, so this is a project. Have you guys ever seen an infographic before? Or know what it is?
No.
No.
So this right here, these right here are examples of infographics. Okay, so it's got color, it's got pictures, it's got short and sweet descriptions that, I mean, it's kind of nice to look at, right? It's kind of like a poster on the computer, and it's kind of nice to look at because you can be like, oh yeah, 5 tips. Okay, do something impulsive, have rituals, exercise 10 minutes a day, take a break, learn something new. Oh, okay, cool. And it has like a little brief description of each, right? This one's a timeline, which is great if you do a timeline. And then this one is just about one topic. So, I mean, these are infographics, okay? Basically, you get information and graphics, which are pictures, together, okay? That's what an infographic is. So with this assignment, you guys are going to make an infographic. I'm going to show you how, but first let's look at the different topics that you have to choose from. Okay, so, and I should have printed this out so that I know who's doing what. And I could put it on my paper, but that's okay. Okay, so let me briefly tell you about these different events right here. I'm just going to give you a short and sweet description of them so that you have an idea of which one you think you want to choose. Okay, so first one, the Indian Citizenship Act is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, it just gives American Indians citizenship, right? They can become a citizen. The second one, the Self-Determination or the Indian Reorganization Act, it basically reorganizes how the federal government views the tribes in the country. It's basically allowing Indian tribes to set up their own government to govern their own affairs. Self-determination, being able to determine for themselves what they want to do on their own land. That's what self-determination is. Indian Child Welfare Act is just welfare for children who are Indian. Indian Civil Rights Act are to increase the civil rights for Indians. National Indian Youth Council is just a group of young youth Indians for the country to help with the progress and forward movement of American Indians. This one was a pretty big one, American Indian Movement. It was just one of the bigger civil rights groups that American Indians were, that they created in the 70s is when it was a big thing, 70s to 90s. Repatriation is basically letting or getting tribes and people today to go back and have some more of their traditional land, basically giving traditional land back to the tribes. Boarding Schools Healing Project is pretty self-explanatory too. Their goal is to help people who were in boarding schools heal from their abuse that they received there. Voting rights is, again, just helping American Indians have more voting rights, the ones that they should have. This religious freedom, one of the events we talked about yesterday was how, I mean, you could go to jail for a while and have a fine if you were American and you were caught practicing one of, a Native American ritual. And that didn't stop and wasn't officially against the law to do that until the 70s. So it took all the way to the 70s for American Indians to actually have religious freedom, which I think is just ridiculous. I mean, a lot of these are ridiculous. But it's like one of the things that Americans pride themselves on is our freedoms, right? Freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Those are 2 of the 5 rights that we have in the First Amendment. So it being the first part of the First Amendment, you think it's pretty darn important. But it took us 200 years to give American Indians religious freedom. I just want to smack some people sometimes. More than that, but I don't like to abuse people, so that's as abusive as I could get. And the last one, Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. So just kind of like the Declaration of Independence, but right, well, not really the independence, but like they're declaring that these are our rights. So it's a document. Okay. So these are the different things you can choose from, although I will tell you the ones that have already been chosen so that you can't have those. Let's see, the American Indian Movement has already been chosen. Boarding Schools Healing Project has already been chosen. Religious freedom has been chosen, and Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People has been chosen. So look at that list, and then you two tell me which one that you guys want. And then just when you know it, you just tell me.
So need to, I can't even say it.
Which one?
The Reorganization Act.
Oh, the Reorganization Act, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Indian Reorganization Act. Okay. And Kylinda, when you find one, let me know.
I think I'll do the National Indian Youth Council.
Okay. Youth Council. It's going to be so great to see you guys in person next year. I mean, Dowie, I've seen you. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I remember when Kylinda came in for that first parent teacher conference. I'm like, holy cow, you look so different. Just like it took me a second because I was like, it's been so long since I've seen you. And so I'm like, man, it'd be nice to see some of these kids, in person again. And Kylinda, I haven't seen you in person for besides parent teacher conferences. I haven't seen you in person for over a year now, because it was just over a year ago that we first went online. So it just popped in my head. Sorry, random thought. Okay, so now that you guys have your topic, what you're going to be doing is right here at the bottom of this assignment, it says what to put on the infographic. So basically you're going to do a little bit of research. Honestly, your research will only take you like 20 minutes. This again isn't something that's designed for you guys to get like really deep in the detail. As you can see in these infographics, they don't have that much information. It's not like you're typing a whole report on it, right? You're just getting the important things. So things that you need to have on it are right here. So you need to have a description of what it is, what it did for American Indians then, and what it means for American Indians today. And then you have one photo that's associated with the event, and then other images, symbols, shapes, things like these things right here that you just get from Canva, which is what we're going to use to do it. Okay. And before I forget, this is new right here, the top of this assignment. This is pretty new, isn't it? This is, at least it's new for my classes. I told all the other teachers about it, so they may or may not be getting this going into their classes. But anyways, it just tells you where you're at. So, if it's ready for you to upload, that's where you're at right now. And then if you've submitted it, it'll say right here. Oh, that's what you do. So upload, and then you submit it. And then if it's not graded yet, it'll show that right here. It'll show if you're missing it right here. So, all that information. And as I scroll down, it kept it right here, right? So you can see that right here. And then you upload it at the bottom. You don't have the submit assignment button at the top for this. You just upload at the bottom. So if you download it. So anyways, this is new. You'll see something like this for a bunch of your assignments, not all of them, but a bunch of them. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay, what I want you guys to do is you're going to split your screen, And then I want you to have your Canvas page on one side and your Zoom on the other side. And let me know when you're ready. Okay, so I just realized that I forgot to record half of my instructions. So if I'm repeating some of this, you'll just have to deal with it. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start where I think I paused on my recording. So this is basically what you're gonna be making, right? An infographic. These are the things that you have to choose from. And I mentioned which ones you could and could not choose from because which ones were already chosen today in class. These are the things you need to put on there. So description of what it was, what it did for American Indians at that time, and what it means for American Indians today. Okay. You also need to have a photo associated with that event. So you're going to look that up on the internet, and then you're going to have other images, symbols, and shapes that you get from Canva. So again, to go to there, I think this is where I paused, is after we clicked on it. So you click on Canva for Education, and that is how you get to the website. And it loads. So you can see there's so many different things that you could design. I think this is, where I stopped recording. There's so many things you could design: posters, presentations, flyers, logos, infographics, resumes, brochures. The images are still loading, but there's so many things that you guys could create on here. So even if it's for other classes, you can create it on here and then just download it. You have access to it. Why not use it, right? So what you're going to do to get to how to create it is you're going to click on Native Studies right here, and that will take you to our class. And then you're going to click right here, Create a Design. And then you're going to click Infographic, because that's what we're creating for our assignment. If we had another assignment where I'm having you create a poster or a logo or a brochure, then you would click on those, because I will use this in my other classes too. So you very well may be making it with using this for other things, classes. So you can click on infographic, and it'll open up a new tab for you. And the infographic, the templates of designs that you can choose are right here. You don't have to use one of these. You can create your own if you want to, but this just makes it easier. So you can scroll through and find ones that you like, any design that you think is cool. We're not doing a timeline, but so you can see all the cool things. You could basically use a template. You could pick one and then use a template to delete certain things. So if I liked how this looked, the colors and everything, you can just click on it and you can change the type, what it is. You could delete some pictures and add your own pictures. So you can change the font to anything you want that's on here. There's a whole bunch of fonts. Okay, a lot. You could change the colors. You could change if it's uppercase or lowercase. You could add effects to it like these. When you find that one photo, this is where you would upload it. After you download it to your computer, you upload it through here. You can upload images, videos, or audio, and you could put it on here. So even videos. I think that'd be really cool too, actually, if you guys put a video on there. That would be super cool. Photos there's already photos on here that you can use. So you might not be using that so much for this one. Well, you could, if you found a good one. All the things you're going to put on there has to go with your event that it is, or whatever it is. So there's shapes, pictures, stickers, images. So you could put all sorts of things right here onto them. So chart stuff, grids. So like you could put pictures on where these grids are. Grids are really, really helpful if you want to like section off your stuff. So you can see all those different grids. And then a bunch of images and like pictures like these are all things that they got from here. You know, there's lots of cool stuff you could put in there. So you're gonna put all stars. So you know, make it eye-catching like this. An infographic is, like I said earlier, info and graphics, so information and pictures at the same time. If you want to add more text in, you can click on here, or if you like one of these fonts, you can put that in. Audio, videos, background. So this is your editing area, basically. So you're gonna put all of your stuff together on this infographic. When you're done, you're gonna click send to teacher. That's one of the ways that you could turn in, is just clicking send to teacher, and then it sends to me. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just click this download button and it will allow you to download. My mouse is going super slow. So I can't see, there we go. So you can just click download. It's as a PNG, which is good. You can click download, which will save it to your computer, and then you can turn it in at the bottom of here. Okay, so those are the two ways that you can turn it in. So that's it for today. If you are a sophomore, then we're gonna have half of class today, or you know what, actually it's for both my classes, never mind. If you're a sophomore, then you have your research finished and ready to, you know, put final touches on your infographic. We're gonna have half of class on Monday to put that together. So your homework, if you didn't finish it today in class, is to have your information done. So all you need to do is just type it up, put the pictures together, bam, you're done. So that's the same for you, juniors and seniors. That's where you need to be at. So for sophomores, you guys are gonna finish this in class, the first half of class on Monday, the 29th. Juniors and seniors, you guys are gonna finish this in class on Wednesday the 7th because of spring break. So Wednesday the 7th, you guys are going to spend the first half of class putting all this all together. So you have a long time to make sure that you get all of your research done and you know the things that you need to know and what you need to put on your infographic. So that's when those are due. So if you have any questions, just let me know.